revolutionary force. Not only do we have enough revolutionary potential for the overthrow of this system that pushes us to the margins of society and to lead the dismantling of ableism alongside our comrades, but we can fight for a new system, a socialist system, a system that guarantees not just accommodation, but liberation. Disabled people are not just a side note in this movement. We are the movement. Protect Social Security, end the coordinated attacks on our rights, free Palestine, and fight for a just world where deaf and disabled people don't just survive, but thrive.
The people united will never be defeated. 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 El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. 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 Free Mahmoud now! Free Mahmoud now! Free Mahmoud now! Free Mahmoud now! Free Kilmer 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 now! I don't think it's a secret to any of us that the far right triumphs through a strategy of divide and conquer. They work by picking minorities to demonize and blame for all of our problems. They say it is the fault of Jews, it is the fault of immigrants, it is the fault of disabled people, that you don't have a good paying job, that you can't afford your rent, that you don't have quality health care, that every other problem in the world that you can name, it's their fault. It's not true. And one of the most important things that we can do in coming out in the streets is rejecting that narrative, isn't that right? We come out here and we say, we know whose fault it is. It's not the fault of those minorities. It's not the fault of trans people. It's not the fault of immigrants. It's not the fault of Muslims. It's the fault of the ruling class. It's the fault of the billionaires. It's the fault of the warmongers. And today, one of the most heinous manifestations of this racist bigotry and demonization is against immigrants in this country. And so one of the most vital things we can do is to stand up in defense of immigrants. They're our neighbors, they're our friends, they're our family members, they're our loved ones, and we will not let you take them. So the next person that I want to welcome up to the microphone is an immigration lawyer from Maryland. She's doing vital work, fighting through the courts, fighting through the legal system, such as it still exists, to do everything that they can to keep people in this country instead of being deported. Because the goal is to intimidate people. The goal is to say, I'm going to let it happen to them because I don't want it to happen to me. But we know that that strategy doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I want you to welcome Grace up to the stage to talk about how we can fight back and the work that we must support through all necessary means of struggle.
Good morning. Billionaires like Trump and Elon Musk want us to believe that immigrants are dangerous criminals, but we know that's a lie. Immigrant workers want the same thing that American workers want. They want opportunity to build a decent life for themselves and for their families. We can't fall victim to this divide and conquer conquer strategy. We know that immigrants are here because they want to build a better lives for themselves. A lot of times they're here because they're fleeing conditions that were caused by American interference abroad. Billionaires want you to believe that the immigrants are here to wreak havoc, that they're here to exploit your resources and steal your jobs. Do you know why they want you to think that? To distract you from who's actually doing that. In just 3 months, Trump has ripped status and work authorization from over 1 million people. He's attacked birthright citizenship. He set aggressive goals for ICE to arrest as many people in our communities as possible. He's specifically targeted immigrant children. And he's used ICE to kidnap members of our community, and without ever seeing a judge, sending them to another country to a foreign prison. This blitz of anti-immigrant actions is designed to scare us. They want us to feel overwhelmed. They know that the immigrant rights movement is strong. They remember last time Trump was here, how many people came into the streets to defend their immigrant neighbors. They want you to feel like it's hopeless because they know that they're no match for a real people's movement. Already, in the face of all these mass deportations, our neighbors being kidnapped, attacks, and raids, people aren't being quiet. Communities are standing up and coming out. People are here in protests like this, and people are also organizing with their neighbors. As Trump and his administration mobilize the U.S. deportation machine, we are going to organize networks and systems of resistance to defend our neighbors. ICE relies on fear. They hate it when people know their rights. They hate it when people stand up for themselves. That's why they hide their faces. They want to intimidate us. That's why they lurk outside of our schools and our hospitals and our places of worship. They're trying to scare us. But I know nobody here wants to give ICE what they want, right? So we're not going to be scared, are we? ICE is kidnapping activists and canceling student visas because they're desperate to silence us. There's no doubt that Trump is using these detention facilities as a black site to disappear dissidents. But let's be clear, these facilities are not new. ICE has been disappearing people to rural detention facilities for years. There are 7,000 people in ICE detention in Louisiana alone. Do you think it's a coincidence that it's in Louisiana? You're right, it's not, because they can't access legal counsel and because the judges there are ready to just rubber stamp any decision that ICE or this administration makes. And we cannot talk about these detention facilities without talking about the big money behind these facilities. These facilities are all run by private for-profit corporations. These companies have seen their stock market value go up as soon as Trump was elected. Promises of mass deportation means that they're going to make money off of human suffering, and they couldn't wait. Last week, Trump was talking to the president of El Salvador about helping him to build new prisons to discipline more people. There's money in that for a lot of people. The checks and balances in our so-called democracy are crumbling. No judge or politician is coming to the rescue. Trump is now routinely ignoring court orders. He spent this entire week bragging about ignoring a unanimous Supreme Court decision to return our neighbor Kilmar back to Maryland where he belongs. And we know we're not going to find any friends in Congress, right? Right now, the Republicans are cheering on anti-immigrant action. But the Democrats have also essentially capitulated to Trump's racist narrative that undocumented immigrants are dangerous, or at the very least disposable. Are our neighbors disposable? As someone who spends hundreds of hours fighting for immigrants in court, let me be the first to tell you, this is not enough. Immigration lawyers are fighting as hard as we can. but we are overwhelmed. And the government is also attacking the court system. We need a people's movement to exert their power and fight this unjust and inhumane immigration system. Only the people can stop Trump from exerting absolute power. We need to take to the streets, and we need a fighting people's movement to defend our immigrant communities.
We want justice, you say how? Free Mahmoud Khalil now! We want justice, you say how? Free Mahmoud Khalil now! We want justice, you say how? Free Kilmar Garcia now! We want justice, you say how? Free Kilmar Garcia now! My friends, we are in the streets today, laying the foundation of a new mass movement against bigotry and against fascism. But we need to also understand that the day that Trump was elected, there was already a mass movement in these streets fighting against war and bigotry and racism and genocide. The movement for a free Palestine has been growing like never before seen. And while it did not begin today, in fact, it's been being fought for 76 long years and will continue until Palestine is free. That fight has taken on a new shape since Trump took office. We have seen how the arrests and attempted deportations of people like Mahmoud Khalil, like Mohsen Madawi, just for speaking out, like Ramesa, just for speaking out, are attempts to intimidate people into silence. They are not even accused of committing a crime. They are only under attack for having dared to speak out against the crime. And so I want to welcome to the stage a speaker from the movement, the organization that has been a keystone of that movement for a free Palestine, the Palestinian Youth Movement. Great that she comes up. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Thank you.
Thanks everybody for coming out. My name is Grace, and I'm here with the Palestinian Youth Movement. We are a transnational grassroots organization of Palestinian and Arab youth and diaspora fighting for the liberation of our homeland. Since our chapter was founded about 5 years ago in the DMV region, we've worked tirelessly to fight not only for the total liberation of every inch of Palestine, but also for the liberation and to support, to promote, to empower all the liberation movements and others who fight for their own liberation. To promote every liberation movement is our moral and existential imperative because we understand that the fight for Palestine is not and never has been only about Palestine. We understand that ours is one part of a larger struggle, a struggle that is shared between the global majority versus systemic oppression, versus imperialism, versus every institution, every individual, every force that seeks to enforce and maintain the status quo for their own benefit. And we understand that the only acceptable end is a collective liberation from Palestine to Mexico to Congo to Sudan to El Salvador. We understand that our movements move in the same directions. And you've heard this before, but it always bears repeating. To equip every liberation liberation movement is our moral and existential imperative because we understand that no one is free until all of us are free. Our common enemies in the church struggle, they are already organized and united against us. They do everything in their power to sow and maintain petty divisions, popping up all around us. Because they understand that they cannot normalize and maintain these systems of oppression against the united people. If we were as organized as the institutions that oppress us, it would not be possible. And when we organize to that degree, those systems will become impossible for them to maintain. This has always been the nature of the liberation movement, to make itself inevitable and to highlight and exploit the cracks in these systems until the eventuality of liberation is realized. Now, all of our amazing speakers have been saying this before me, but I'm going to repeat everything that we've seen out of the Trump White House. The shameless parading of fascism, the shock and awe doctrine of a news cycle that cannibalizes itself and poisons communities against each other. This is a tactic of a regime that hopes that we cower, that we capitulate, that we turn on each other. Now we've identified this, we've acknowledged this. And recognizing this, it is our responsibility to double down on our community ties, to stand firm and to close ranks. Our responsibility is to be courageous and to hold true to the conviction that we are stronger together and we only achieve victory when we achieve unity. In our region, the waves of imperialism and Zionism we've seen escalating in the past 18 months are now concentrating over our region. The U.S. has begun another brutal bombing campaign on Yemen, killing dozens in the past few days alone. And the massacres on our people in Gaza escalate every day. And these are parallel campaigns and evils who simply want to obliterate anyone who dares to stand in defiance of them. But in Gaza and in Yemen, we are taught the meaning of principled resistance. Now we need to take these lessons and implement them here in the Valley of the Peace, and that's what all of our speakers have been calling on you to do today. For that reason, we are doing the global call to action for Gaza on Friday, November 5th, outside of the State Department. The State Department dictates these policy of murders, and we refuse to stand by as they kill our families abroad. They broker the deals that send billions of our tax dollars for genocide, and we demand an arms embargo now, the only true path to a permanent ceasefire. For standing against the genocide, the state has doubled down on its fascist repression against student protesters to strike fear in the people and force us to fall in line with Trump's quote-unquote new normal. It's more important now than ever to remember that the escalation and the constancy of these repressions is also a tactic that attempts to make the unacceptable acceptable in hopes that people get used to the constant threat. They want you to conform to temporary and unreliable comfort. Every time they push the boundary further, every time fascism comes on us, I know more and more of our autonomy. Are we going to do that? The reason we fight for impunity from one of the police was Mohsen Madawi and the countless others is not only in defense of the Palestinian struggle, but also in defense of every struggle to hold that line. Because make no mistake, this is only a test run. Their attempts to isolate the Palestinian cause have failed and will continue to fail because we understand that the stakes extend far beyond us and threaten everyone here. We fight for Hamas because we understand that if the government intentionally lie and slander the vulnerable, shame, to point them without due process, shame, and openly defy a unanimous Supreme Court, shame, then none of us are safe. The Palestinian youth movement looks forward to building with each and every one of you here to build a movement that protects arrests would not be happening if the fascists in power were not afraid of their own power. If they didn't consider our collective action a genuine challenge to everything that they would like to maintain. In the worst sort of way, it's a validation. They're telling you that what you're doing is working. So let's keep working because it is working. Let's continue to build, to unite, and to expand this movement. Thank you.
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
From the sea to the river!
From the sea to the river!
Palestine will live forever!
Palestine will live forever!
Brothers, sisters, and siblings, thank you so much for coming out today. As I said, we are building a community of resistance to fascism and to the far-right agenda, and it starts right here today. Because we understand that the true power in society lay not in the halls of the White House or Congress, but here in the streets with the people. The people have all the power. Say it with me. The people have all the power. The people have all the power. The people have all the power. Never forget it. In this movement, we have to look at previous threats of fascism. Either against the labor movement in the 1930s, Jim Crow fascism in the 1950s and 60s, or beyond going against fascism against our LGBTQ siblings. The lesson is never to simply seek influence in corrupt and unjust systems, but to demand popular power and to organize independently of it. So, while this demonstration today is concluded, we can't let this be the end of our organizing. There have been many organizations that have spoken here today, and I encourage you to look them up. Talk to the organizers here. Find out how you can plug in and get involved. Because this movement doesn't end today, it doesn't end tomorrow, and we have to stay mobilized, we have to stay in the streets, and we have to keep fighting until everybody is free. The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated!
The people
United will never be defeated!
The people
United will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated!
show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like!
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like!
When I say people, you say power. People.
Power!
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 We want justice. You say how? Free Mahmoud Khalil now.
Free Mahmoud Khalil now!
We want justice. You say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Free Mahmoud Khalil now.
Free Mahmoud Khalil now!
We want justice. You say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Free Kilmar Garcia now.
Free Kilmar Garcia now!
We want justice. You say how?
We want justice, you say how?
Free Kilmar Garcia now.
for jobs and education.
Not for war and deportation.
Not for war and deportation.
Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for war and deportation.
Not for war and deportation.
Money for jobs and education.
Money for jobs and education.
Not for war and deportation.
Not for war and deportation.
Trans, cis, straight, gay, fight united every day. Trans, cis, straight, gay.
Fight united every day.
Trans, cis, straight, gay.
Fight united every day.
Trans, cis, straight, gay.
Fight united every day.
Trans, cis, straight, gay. Fight united every day. Trans, cis, straight, gay.
Fight united every day.
Trans, cis, straight, gay.
Fight united every day.
Part of the other event while I parked.
Brothers, sisters, and siblings, my name is Morgan. I've been a member of the Answer Coalition, and I'll see you in the streets.
Shut up. That was wild. You can think about it, let me know. Anyway, all right, bye.
When I say people, you say power. People, power. People, power. People, power. People, power. People,
Foundation. They are the authors of Project 2025, which is leading the racism and the sexism and the fake Christianism of this country. They want to make us a white, straight, nationalist dictatorship. I've been working with Cliff Tash. I don't know if y'all heard of him. I've been working with him alongside a lot of stuff.
A lot of people do.
I don't know how much I can say here, but
The one there in the White House.
I just want you guys to know, I'm going to be over there. I've been over there a lot of days by myself. I've been threatened personally by the security guards from Breaking Bad.
Did he announce that?
And that's not a joke. It is really hard to know a joke. He's threatened me several times.
Is it over?
And the last time he put his hand
It just started
on the
7 times.
public said, if you keep talking about these people in this building, I'm going to keep
10 times, 10 times.
If you can take time out,
I definitely started to find out, and I was on the phone with him when it sounded like things wrapped up. So
I really
I was just curious as to
please go over to the Heritage Foundation.
Saturday, you know,
no, it's a different one that's happening. No, nothing is new here. The one at noon is going to be
Vice President this year?
Massachusetts Avenue
Where
Northeast.
DC?
Yeah. The conservatory for events.
This year?
I'm not going there. We got another cruise.
But it will let me over there, right?
Yes,
No, right?
yes, I do.
This is good.
There's another one that's supposed to start at the monument and then March here.
Oh, Monument the one. They're gonna start Monument 1. Well, you think which one would be the more crowded?
Folks, I don't know if I have too much time. I just want to let y'all know.
Well, there was
I'm
a
going to be
guy
headed over there just like I have been every day that I can be over the last.
Just left.
I don't even know how long. And I don't need any praise for it. I just need the sympathy. So
8 people.
if I get disappeared,
8 people,
something
right?
happens to me, there's
But
actually
it's
people
Supposed to start
around.
noon, so
Yeah, that's the
you know,
but I'm just thinking I should go fast. How far from here? It's very long house, right? That's the thing.
yeah, conservatory.
Do you have the address?
214 Massachusetts Avenue Northeast.
Massachusetts, north side.
34. And? 34.
No,
First street is 34. 34. And street northwest. 34. Oh, 120. It's very near.
yeah, it's not far.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm giving you all like that.
I'm going there, thank you. Then 1 o'clock monument, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be headed over there.
Okay, I will be there too.
All right.
Do you need to go now?
We do not send weapons directly to the Sudan, but we have an organization called United Arab Emirates. They fund the war in Sudan. They send the RSF missiles. They are our partners in Sudan. 16, 50, 20, sending weapons, munitions, or military support, including, check this, Ukraine, Russia, India, Iran, China, Latvia,
Which one?
France, UK, Germany.
Are you a Fox supporter? Or you just work for it? Yeah, that's different.
There was another war going on last year that was strictly banned from U.S.
You got a job to do, right?
War in Ethiopia. That was on a complete ban. The United States had been at war with Yemen for 20 years. Once every year, C-SPAN may show Bernie Sanders on the floor of the Senate calling to end the war in Yemen. He says that once every year. No one gives him any publicity. While we're fighting oligarchies, while we're freeing Palestine, understand the United States exports war everywhere. Check. All right, we're good.
Thomas and Alito, what fucking asshole?
Oh, you know how it's like on the side of the road where they got like the arrow sign. Oh, like where it's just like you guys like that? I love it. One for 20 as well.
You know why I have a sign? No, Donald Trump's Republicans